My name is Agata Kulczycka. I'm a psychotherapist. I used to work at school as a teacher and school counselor. And in the context of the church, I work with the survivors of the sexual abuse within the church. Well, first of all, as a citizen, I would often turn on the TV and while watching the news, I would think of the abuse of religion by politicians, especially for the last 8 years in Poland. But also from the occupational point of view, as a psychotherapist, I meet with my patients with their micro-universes, let's say. And in their micro-universes, they are very often afraid to admit that they are believers, because there is this tendency in Poland nowadays that when you admit that you're a believer, you instantly have to add that you didn't vote for this particular party. You know, I believe in God, but I don't believe in this particular party. And my patients are really afraid of admitting that they believe, because they feel that they have to excuse themselves. And that's because religion is linked to politics so much in Poland. And what I also saw when I was teaching at school was that the number of students attending religious education or giving up religious education was dependent on what was happening on the political scene in Poland. So it was very, very interesting to see that the political scene had so much impact on children attending religious education. In general, as far as I'm concerned, it's a general worldwide phenomenon. And I guess that nowadays is the first time that we try to kind of separate politics from religion. But still, there are systems in the world that are based on theocracy. But I think that systems which are more vulnerable to manipulation are the systems in which there is one predominant religion, and people, the believers from this religion, expect the others to conform to their norms, to conform to their attitudes, to their worldview. And on the other hand, the religions which seem to be more exploitable are the ones where we have this hierarchical system, where there are some people on top, and you can manipulate only the people on top, and then you have the whole church. I guess that religions which seem to be more exploitable are the ones in which huge impact is put on controlling people, on listening to authorities, obedience towards authorities, on fear, the religions which have something that people are afraid of, like the concept of hell or the devil or sin. So all the religions which do not practice this idea of primacy of conscience, which do not lead people to freedom seem to be more exploitable by politicians in this context. And in Poland, we still can see that the church leaders are afraid to lead people to this idea of primacy of conscience, as if they are afraid that if people listened to their conscience, they would stop listening to the church. But what's dangerous is that having controllable people in your religion means that you have also controllable citizens in your country, and it's linked to one another. The context in Poland is very important, because the church has been the key political player for the last few generations in the communist era, after the communist era. So in the communist era, the church was, the head of resistance, and after the communist era, whenever politicians wanted people to trust them, they had to have the acceptance of the church. And in this context, right now, we have especially one specific party, which even took their name from the Bible, and which is considered a Catholic party. And the church leaders decided to kind of cooperate with this party. I guess having this context, this historical context in mind. But an interesting thing happened, because as long as the ideas of the party were in accordance with the teachings of the church, it was okay. But at some point, I guess it was the case with migrants, the party said something different than the church. And then, what was very surprising for the church leaders, people didn't leave the party. People left the church. So I guess it's a kind of lose-lose situation, because on one hand, when the church is so much linked to the party, those who do not follow the party also do not follow the church. And on the other hand, those who follow the party do it only as long as the church agrees with the party, and it shouldn't be so. I guess both sides are equally involved. I mean, both church leaders and politicians. And I can see two reasons why church leaders may be involved in politics. And one of the reasons is safety. I guess the leaders want the church to be safe in the country. And it's not bad. We all want to be safe. But sometimes the cost of safety is your freedom, and that's what is happening right now. And the other reason on the side of the leaders is that I guess many leaders of the Catholic Church in Poland are afraid of diversity. And in the guise of evangelization, they try to impose the law, and they try to impose a certain worldview. And it's not evangelization; it's done by force. So instead of some unity in diversity, we have a kind of weird homogeneity. which doesn't work because people don't want to be forced to do anything. And on the other hand, we have politicians who need devoted people. And in order to find devoted people, you go to the church. So I guess that both sides are involved in this process. When we speak about the manipulation of religion, we actually speak about the manipulation of people. So in order to strengthen religions, I guess we need to strengthen people. Religions need to teach people how to listen to their conscience. Religions need to teach people how to be spiritually autonomous. Because a person who is, first of all, knowledgeable and second of all, aware is less easily manipulated. And so people who know what the religion teaches and what it doesn't teach, and people who are spiritually, intellectually, emotionally independent, autonomous, will be creating religion which is less exploitable, I hope. I think religion may play an important role in political field, positive role in the political field, but not when the church cooperates with one particular party. The two examples of positive impacts that come to my mind are, well, first of all, religious leaders in a certain distance may serve as a conscience of all the politicians, with no exceptions, and then it works. And on the other hand, religions may form people of conscience, and politics needs people of conscience. People of conscience make good politicians. So that's how a religion may have a huge positive impact on politics. I guess when I think about the challenges of our time, I think about loneliness. I think about mental crises. I think about lack of connection, lack of sense of belonging. So once again, I may talk about Catholicism here the most because that's what I know the most. Religion has answers to these challenges by teaching people the way to the living and loving God and to real relationship with this God, by providing safe community for the people. It may really help people face challenges they have to deal with nowadays.